And Hollie, like you said, I think with having a free kick stroke set play specialist within the team, they're going to be working quite heavily with players such as Perisic, because he's obviously on a lot of those situations. Sonny obviously with corners, but then obviously that rotates slightly. And has that taken something away from Sonny's game last couple of games? I think a lot of people have said that obviously because of Sonny's form has not been where it should have been. I think maybe that's because his role in the team's changed slightly, and maybe Sonny's just having to get used to having real quality players of delivery within the team that maybe can take some of the workload from him. And he hasn't been like on point. You look at some of the chances he's had over the last couple of weeks. There's some of those snap chances that he had last season that he just kind of buried. He's obviously miskicked them all. His time has not been there this season yet.
No, you make a brilliant point. And I think bringing on to Son, like you said, there's been a lot of chat of dropping in him and let Richie start the next game. And part of you's kind of like, yeah, okay, let Richarlison have a go because Sonny's head clearly isn't in it. And then part of you thinks, but it's Son. And I think you made a great point there, Richard, in the sense that maybe his role in the team is changing. He's trying to adjust that. I mean, Wes, what's your kind of thoughts on Sonny at the moment?
Yeah, Sonny, obviously, I think with Sonny, and I was mentioning this to a couple of people actually sort of over the weekend, it's almost like if he gets one goal early, as we saw last season, obviously he scored in the first couple of games of the season, he then goes on a run and he just flies. But then other seasons we've seen where it takes him ages to get into it. But then once he gets one goal, he's fine. And obviously with his quality, we know that the goals are going to come eventually. It's just a case of when and not if. But I think sometimes when you watch him, it's like if he's not scoring or assisting, you're kind of thinking like, what's he doing? Like, what's he bringing to the team? And, you know, usually it would be making those really darting runs, those penetrative runs in behind. You know, we've seen over the years when we had obviously like Toby with the pings over the top, he would get in behind. I know Dyer's sort of taken on that role a little bit more now. And you see it, I think we even saw it on Saturday, the one that Dyer sort of wrapped around the sort of behind Wolves' back line for Sonny to get in. But yeah, it just feels like at the minute something's just not quite clicking. But you know, I fully expect him to come good eventually. It's just a case of when, I think, and not if.
Even his energy on the press, I think if you watch how he's like how the team obviously Conte's want everybody to press when they're out of possession. And Sonny just doesn't seem to be into that at the moment. And I think that's why the couple of first halves that I've watched, I've gone, well, we're not really pressing from the front. And Harry's kind of doing a little bit. And then Kulusevski's trying to do everything down that side. And I think Sonny's maybe just not really into that press at the moment. And whether he's got a bit of fatigue from the off-season or he's kind of, like I say, just readjusting, I think that's probably an issue for the first half of the game.
I think it's also part of like our expectancy with Sonny now. Everyone just feels like
it's good to though, right? It's good to say that we want him to score every game.
100%. We know what that's what I mean. We know what he can do. We know his ability. We know his goal scoring record. Like you don't just win the Golden Boot for no reason. Like he's an exciting player. You know he's going to make chances. So when he's not doing this, everyone's got that little bit of doubt. And it's like, how many games do you keep going before you are allowed to make a change? Because we've never actually been able to have a change. Because you looked at the bench in recent seasons, and we've like no disrespect to like your Lucas Moura's, your Bergwijns, all of them, but they just never cut it. So now being able to see a £60 million striker or forward, should I say, in Richarlison, it's like it's not because Son's bad. It's because Richarlison looks up for it. Like look at Richarlison. He's come on the recent game. He came against Chelsea. These two games where the results could have gone completely different. He's helped to change that. So it's not like, oh, just see out 20 minutes, see if Son has a snapshot, has a goal. It's make a change while we can. Like it's nice to have these options. Like we haven't had options before, so it's not about slating. If it was Kulusevski that was on a down, I'd be saying the same thing. It's just it's Son, and everyone, because it's Son, like golden boy, Mr. Nice Guy. We all love him. You want to see him do well, but it's just nice to have a change sometimes.
Yeah, it's almost like, how long do you wait to put Richarlison in? Because like you said, he looks hungry. He's made a difference every time he's come on. If it means the roles are reversed, start Richie, then bring Son on, and then Son's hungry. Like it could be that kind of thing. But it is really interesting to see the fan base kind of split on it. And you never want to see him not do well. I think he just needs a bit of a rest or a bit of a refocus. Like you've all kind of said, it just doesn't seem to be clicking at the moment.